The moment lasts only a few seconds. A serve lands near the line, the opponent cannot return it, and the stadium erupts. But the sound that follows is not only celebration, it is recognition. The recognition that a career which began in junior courts under routine training sessions and quiet expectations has entered a phase where every match carries narrative weight. This is the story of Coco Gauff, and more importantly, the story of how modern sports careers evolve under constant global attention. This documentary follows the full journey of Coco Gauff, from childhood development and structured training to early international visibility, professional success, setbacks, and the current moment where public discussion around the athlete has intensified again. The purpose is not to praise or criticize, but to understand why certain athletes become symbols beyond performance, and why specific moments in their careers generate renewed global conversation. Coco Gauff was born into an environment where athletics and discipline were present from the beginning. Family support did not function as pressure, but as structure. The early years were shaped by routine rather than spectacle. Training schedules, travel for youth tournaments, and daily repetition defined the developmental stage. What distinguished this path was consistency at a young age. Instead of specializing late, the athlete focused early, building familiarity with competition environments before adolescence. Education continued alongside training. Balancing academic responsibilities with professional preparation required time management uncommon for a teenager. Online schooling eventually replaced traditional classroom attendance as competition schedules expanded internationally. This shift was not unusual for elite junior athletes, but significant in shaping independence. The athlete learned to operate within adult spaces early, interacting with coaches, officials, and media before reaching adulthood. The career began not with immediate fame, but with junior circuit participation. At this stage, results mattered more than attention. Rankings improved gradually, not overnight. Coaches emphasized fundamentals, footwork, endurance, and shot selection under pressure. The goal was not immediate professional success, but long-term stability. This approach would later explain the athlete's resilience during high-pressure matches. Recognition arrived earlier than expected during a major tournament appearance at a very young age. Facing experienced competitors, Coco Gauff displayed composure uncommon for a newcomer. The performance captured global attention because audiences are drawn to contrast, youth competing against established professionals. Media coverage expanded quickly, focusing on both performance and personality. Interviews showed confidence balanced with restraint, creating a public image of maturity rather than novelty. The rise in visibility introduced a new challenge. Every subsequent match carried expectations shaped by the breakthrough performance. Instead of competing anonymously, Coco Gauff now competed under scrutiny. Some results met expectations, others did not. Early losses generated commentary about pressure and development pace. However, the technical progression continued. Serves improved in speed and accuracy. Baseline rallies became more controlled, and defensive movement turned into a strategic advantage. Major achievements followed gradually rather than in a single dominant season. Tournament wins at different levels built ranking stability. Doubles success complemented singles development, strengthening net play and positioning awareness. The athlete's game style became recognizable, defensive coverage combined with opportunistic offense. Analysts noted that matches were often won through consistency rather than risk. Despite setbacks occurred, early career attention sometimes magnified normal developmental struggles. Losses were interpreted as regression, even when statistically common for young professionals. Managing expectations became as important as improving technique. Interviews revealed a growing awareness of media cycles and public perception. The athlete learned that performance alone does not control narrative. Eventually, a significant championship victory confirmed long-term potential. This milestone changed perception from promising talent to established competitor. The achievement carried symbolic weight because it validated years of gradual improvement rather than a single breakthrough moment. Rankings improved, sponsorships expanded, and scheduling became more selective. Now we arrive at the present phase and the reason coco gauff is trending again right now. The renewed trend began after a recent series of high-profile matches during the current season, combined with a notable performance in a major tournament where tactical adjustments were visible to both analysts and general viewers. The specific turning point was a match in which coco gauff reversed a losing position through strategic changes rather than increased aggression. Broadcast commentators highlighted decision-making under pressure, and clips circulated widely across social platforms within hours. However, the trend is not only about one match result, it is about timing within the athlete's career arc. Earlier visibility centered on youth achievement. Later success established legitimacy. The current discussion centers on evolution. Observers noticed changes in serve placement, rally patience, and emotional management between points. Analysts described it as a shift from reactive play to controlled pacing. Because audiences had followed the athlete from adolescence, the improvement appeared personal rather than technical. The conversation intensified when post-match interviews addressed mindset adjustments. Coco Gauff spoke about learning to manage expectations and separating external noise from internal performance focus. These comments resonated because they connected visible performance changes with psychological growth. Sports discussion moved beyond scorelines to mental development. Clips of the interview circulated alongside match highlights, reinforcing a narrative of maturation. Another factor driving the trend is comparison across generations. Commentators positioned coco gauff within a broader transition period in the sport, where established champions are gradually replaced by younger competitors. The athlete became a reference point in discussions about the next era. Trending topics often require symbolic meaning, and in this case, the athlete represented continuity between past and future competitive standards. The timing matters because previous achievements had already created recognition, but not definitive identity. The recent performances provided clarity. Instead of asking whether the athlete could maintain success, discussions now focus on how far the career might extend. This shift from uncertainty to projection triggers renewed interest because audiences respond to trajectory rather than static accomplishment. Media coverage expanded when statistical breakdowns showed measurable improvements in serve efficiency and unforced error reduction compared to earlier seasons. These analytics supported the visual impression of growth. When subjective observation aligns with objective data, discussion becomes broader and more sustained. Sports networks, analysts, and casual viewers referenced the same evidence, amplifying attention. The trend matters within the larger career context because it marks transition from emerging champion to long-term contender. Early fame and initial titles introduced the athlete to global audiences, but sustained evolution determines legacy. This moment signals that adaptation is occurring rather than plateau. In competitive sports, adaptation extends careers and reshapes rivalries. Public reaction has been largely analytical rather than emotional. Commentators discuss strategy more than personality. This indicates respect earned through consistent performance rather than novelty. Social media reactions include technical breakdowns, suggesting audiences now evaluate coco gauff as a tactical competitor rather than only a young star. Currently, the athlete remains active at the top competitive level, with scheduling focused on major tournaments and selective preparation events. Future possibilities include additional championships, ranking fluctuations, and evolving rivalries as peers develop simultaneously. Because the athlete entered public attention early, career longevity will be measured not only by titles, but by sustained relevance across seasons. Long-term impact may extend beyond statistics. Coco Gauff represents a generation that grew up with constant digital observation. Handling visibility from adolescence created a model for younger athletes navigating similar exposure. The combination of performance improvement and controlled public communication may influence how future professionals manage media environments. The story shows that sports careers are rarely defined by a single victory. They are defined by progression visible over time. From early training routines to global arenas, from expectation pressure to strategic maturity, Coco Gauff demonstrates how adaptation determines perception. The current trending moment is not an isolated event, but a point along a longer curve of development. If you want more detailed documentaries explaining the real stories behind athletes, public figures, and trending moments, subscribe to the channel and continue watching.